Australia is home to some of the biggest, weirdest, and scariest creatures on Earth. From giant moths to spiders larger than your hand, and even slugs that glow pink in the wild. Today, we're diving into the wild world of Australia's enormous and unusual animals. Trust me you wanna believe what lives there. Why bugs grow so big in certain places. Have you ever noticed how insects seem to increase in size in certain parts of the world? Places like Australia and the Amazon rainforest are famous for having some of the largest and creepiest bugs in existence. What happens in these hotbeds of insect activity? Heat influences insect growth, but it's not the only factor. In deserts, for example, bugs aren't that big despite the heat. The real secret lies in their access to water. In tropical and subtropical environments, there is usually plenty of humidity, creating a year-round buffet of food that lets insects grow and thrive. The same goes for rodents. Just look at the giant rats that live in cities, where they feast on all kinds of trash and waste. The perfect combination for massive creatures is usually found near the equator, in Central and South America, parts of Africa, Asia, and Northern Australia. #the giant wood moth. Check out this insect, the giant wood moth. Spotted in an Australian school near a rainforest, it holds the record for the world's heaviest moth, with a wingspan of 23 centimeters. Australia has around 60 species of wood moths, but none come close to the size of this one. Students often encounter animals like bush turkeys, koalas, and snakes on campus, but even for them, seeing a moth this big was shocking. Australia's enormous spiders. When we talk about Australian bugs, it's impossible not to mention spiders. They are impressively large thanks to the warm, humid climate that provides abundant food. Like most cold-blooded animals, spiders grow bigger in warm places because higher temperatures allow them to grow longer before reproducing. The vast bushland of Australia gives them countless opportunities to thrive. The crab spider, the Australian bird-eating spider, and the huntsman are huge and can look terrifying. But here's the relief, most of them are not dangerous to humans. Still, imagine one of these giants in your house. So how do Australians deal with spiders this big without going crazy? Remember, the country is home to more than 10,000 species of spiders. People treat them with respect, recognizing that they are a vital part of the ecosystem. When confronted with a spider at home, they usually call the experts because few are brave enough to pick one up and take it outside. The pink slug. Now, here's something totally different, the pink slug. Bright, striking, and rare, this slug is found only in Mount Kaputar National Park, in a small forest on an ancient volcano. Its unusual coloration is believed to be an adaptation to its unique environment. It's rare, endangered, and unlike anything you've ever seen. The return of the extinct stick insect. Insects are part of daily life in Australia, and sometimes they bring big surprises. For example, imagine finding a 35-centimeter insect while mowing the lawn. And then there's the story of the Lord Howe Island stick insect, also known as the tree lobster. These giant bugs, about 15 centimeters long, were declared extinct in 1920 after black rats invaded the island and wiped them out. But fate had other plans. Over 40 years later, they were rediscovered on Baliuro's pyramid, a volcanic mound 20 kilometers away. Scientists were amazed. DNA testing confirmed they were the same species, with less than 1% genetic difference. Today, conservation efforts aim to restore them to their native home. By strange night creatures. Australia is full of insects that seem to come straight out of a science fiction movie. Some of them are nocturnal, which makes them even creepier. Imagine waking up to find one of these giant bugs crawling across your foot in the middle of the night. Take the Australian walking stick insect, for example. If you saw a picture, you might think it was Photoshop. But #S real. Proof that nature can be stranger than fiction. #I the orb weaver spider. Picture this, you're walking through your garden when suddenly you stumble into a sticky web. The culprit? A garden orb weaver spider. With their large, hairy bodies and red and yellow markings, they may look scary, but they're harmless to humans. In fact, they're helpful, since they control mosquito populations. Their webs are masterpieces of engineering, resistant, nearly invisible, and perfectly designed to catch prey. If you break their web, don't worry, they usually just move on and rebuild elsewhere. #3 the burrowing cockroach. Next up, the Australian burrowing cockroach. Unlike flying cockroaches, these don't have wings and aren't considered pests. Instead, they play a vital ecological role by eating fallen leaves and recycling organic matter. They even build permanent underground burrows, making them the only cockroach species known to do so. In Brisbane, they're so well known that some people even keep them as pets. The Hercules moth. And finally, the Hercules moth. Found in northern Australia and New Guinea, #S the largest known living insect in the world. With a wingspan of 27 centimeters and enormous surface area on its wings, this moth is truly massive. Golden brown with white patterns and transparent spots, #S impressive in every way. Males even have long, thin tails on their wings. But #S the scary part you never know where they'll fly. One moment they're in a tree, and the next they could land right on your shoulder. Would you dare to hold one? Australia's unique fauna. Beyond its giant bugs, Australia is home to an incredible variety of animals. About 46% of birds, 69% of mammals, 94% of amphibians, and 93% of reptiles found there are endemic. They exist nowhere else on Earth. This is due to the continent's long geographic isolation, its tectonic stability, and unique climate patterns over millions of years. Australia has relatively few native placental mammals, so marsupials like kangaroos and possums fill many of those ecological niches. #S also one of the only places where you can find monotremes like the platypus. And #S not forget Australia is home to countless venomous creatures, spiders, scorpions, octopuses, jellyfish, stonefish, rays, and more. In fact, the country has more venomous snake species than non-venomous ones. #Call to action. From giant moths to pink slugs, from spiders that tower over your hand to insects once thought extinct, Australia proves that nature is as terrifying as it is fascinating. So, which of these Australian creatures surprised you the most? Was it the giant Hercules moth, the resurrected stick insect, or the glowing pink slug? Tell me in the comments. I'll be reading you. And don't forget to share this video with your friends, so they too can discover the wild, strange, and unbelievable creatures that call Australia home. Well, let me introduce you to the Australian walking stick. If we showed you a picture of it, you would probably think we had great skills with Photoshop, but no, that stick insect is very real. It's hard to believe that such a strange creature can exist in nature. This shows how incredible and mind-blowing the wild world can be. Imagine this. You're walking through your garden, minding your own business, when suddenly you stumble upon a sticky web. Before running away, you see the culprit, a garden orb weaver spider. These nocturnal creatures can be scary with their large, hairy bodies and their red and yellow markings, but luckily, they are harmless to humans. In fact, having them around is good because they help to reduce certain insect pests like mosquitoes. Their webs are a true wonder of nature, resistant and almost invisible, with a wide capture area for prey. If you accidentally break their web, don't worry, they usually get the hint and move on. So enjoy your garden. But be careful with those clever weavers. Check out this Australian the burrowing cockroach. Unlike flying cockroaches, these don't have wings and aren't considered a nuisance. They play a vital role in the ecosystem, eating fallen leaves and recycling organic matter. You can often find them resting in a cozy burrow. In fact, they are the only known cockroaches that have a permanent underground dwelling. These bugs are famous in Brisbane, and some even keep them as pets.